Okay guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the route tree, and we're going to follow maybe the more prescribed system where even numbers break to the inside and odd numbers break to the outside. We're going to change our footwork at the line of scrimmage to make sure our route numbers correspond with the number of steps in the route. So to do that, we're going to have the outside foot forward. That's supposed to be a foot. Those are toes. And your inside foot will be back. So if you're on this side, the outside foot is forward and the inside foot is back. So for our route numbering system, a 0 route is no steps. It's just a what we call drag route or a crossing route across the line of scrimmage. A 1 route breaks to the outside. And it's called a 1 route because it's 1 step. You'll line up in this formation. You'll have your weight and your knee over your outside toes. Your first step will be with your inside foot. So your first step brings that inside foot forward. You put your weight on the outside of that foot and you cut to the outside for a 1 route. All right, a 2 is the same, only your second foot step will be here. Put the weight on that foot, and this becomes a slant. All right, a 3 breaks outside. A 4 is an in route. A 5 is a deep out, 5-step out. A 6, oh, you can go up, is a post. And then a 7 is a corner. So again, on this side, a 0 is a drag, a 2 is a slant, a 4 is an in, a 6 is a post, a 1 is a quick out, a 3 is a 3-step out, 5 is a 5-step out, a 7 is a corner. If we call a 67, that's a combination route, you're going to run a 6 and then break back to the corner for a 7. That would be an example of a combination route. An 89 would be, well, we didn't cover the 8, but an 8 doesn't have a prescribed number of steps. You would just fire out a defender and curl in front of them. That would be our 8 route. If we called an 89, that would be a combination route. You would run the rub and then go to a fly, which is a 9. All right, so that is our route tree. One quick thing I want to talk about on running routes is professionals talk about running at their toes. And so when you're on the line of scrimmage and there is a defender at you, pros will try and step almost on his toes. And what they want to do is they want to get so that there's very little separation here so that when they cut, this guy's backtracking and doesn't have the ability to cut with you, the receiver, and it helps leave you open. So one thing you want to do is run at their toes, make your cut. Hopefully they are off balance and can't follow you. If you're running this route in a circle, you know, that lazy, if you're trying to run a lazy in like that, this defender is not going to have any problem following you. However, if you run right at him, right at his toes and he's backtracking, and then you cut, now you're going to get separation. It's going to be easier to get the ball. The other thing that's real important to do, if you can, is to get the cornerback to turn his hips the wrong way. And what I mean by that, let's say you want to run a post route. You want to run something like this, okay? You want to go towards that goal post, right? It's fairly easy for the defender to follow you if he maintains his hips pointing at you the whole time. So what we want him to do is actually turn his hips so he's actually looking the wrong way, and then we cut behind him. Now he has to loop around to try and catch up to you, and he's out of position. So that sounds good in theory, but how do you do it? Well, here's how you do it. If this is the defender, his feet are right here, he's facing you. You run right at his toes. You want him to think you're going outside. Most defenders will then go from a back track to a side step, trying to track you that way. He's now turned his hips the wrong way because you're actually going this way. And now he's got to loop around and try and catch up with you. All right, so when you're running these routes, remember to try and run at their toes and try and get the corner to turn his hips the wrong way. And I've actually got a video of a friend of mine in Kansas, his son running a wide receiver where he does this perfectly for a touchdown. So I'll see if I can post that. Consequently, or not consequently, but conversely, if you're the defender, work not to turn your hips the right way. Stay in that back pedal as long as you can and wait for them to make their move before you turn and try and run with them. Okay, so for the quiz, here's what you're going to need to know on the quiz for the route tree. You're going to need to know even routes break which way. All right, it's to the middle. You're going to need to know odd routes break which way? To the outside. You're going to need to know the numbers of the route equals the number of steps. And that's true for routes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Routes 7, 8, and 9 do not equal the number of steps. Route 7 is a 5-step route. 8 is whatever it takes to get to the defender you're supposed to rub. And a 9 is a fly route. So those are the 4 things you're going to need to know on the quiz. Those quick summary of the route tree. We'll work on this. It's really important if you want to get separation from that defender. You need to run precise routes. If you run precise routes, you're going to have a greater chance of getting open. If you get open, you have a greater chance of catching the ball. If you catch the ball, you're going to have a greater chance of scoring touchdowns. So work on your footwork, work on knowing the route tree, and that'll be helpful for this upcoming season.